Good morning. It's Thursday, April 24th, 2025 at 8:01 a.m. And this morning we are going to have Napoli again. But I wanted to point something out. Let's look at the atlas, okay? Alrighty. Now let's find the equator. Here's the equator, okay? Here's the Tropic of Cancer, which is pretty much around the northern boundary of the coffee zone. Now, where is Napoli? Naples, Italy. It's up here, okay? Here's the Tropic of Cancer. Do you think that they grew these beans for Napoli coffee in Italy? No. Where they grew them is Uganda, okay, in Africa. Here's the equator. And in India, here's the Tropic of Cancer, goes right through, kind of divides India in about, 3/5, 2/5, more or less. So India and Uganda is where Napoli comes from. That is Napoli coffee. Got to see my pile of laundry there that I need to fold. So I got this new thing for my kitchen. I had something like it in my old apartment, but there's a different kind of setup here. So see, I've got this. So I just very frequently, I don't use a lot of dishes, so sometimes I like to just put something up here, and there's a place for silverware and another place for whatever. So I washed out the pieces of my pixie machine here. I'm gonna put them together. Okay, let me get set up here so we can have a proper visit. Okay, so first of all, this just goes right there, okay, snaps in. And this is where the used coffee capsules go. Okay, and this whole thing slides right in there, okay? So here's my Napoli, all right? Now, Napoli, let's talk about coffee beans just for a minute. There are over 100 different species of coffee, but the two main ones that are used to make the coffees that just regular old people buy are Robusta and Arabica. And Robusta is the easier to grow. Arabica is it's just more expensive to grow. It's more subject to diseases and stuff like that. And you know what? I keep getting this phone call. I'm going to, if it comes one more time, I'll answer it. So Robusta is the cheaper bean. It is very often used in instant coffees. It has a stronger flavor, a lot more caffeine than Arabica, and it has some bitterness to it. It's very often used in espressos to give it that really punchy flavor, a little bit of bitterness that is desired in an espresso. But Arabica is usually or very often mixed with Robusta to make a blend that tempers some of that bitterness in the Robusta and even adds a little sweetness. So this Napoli coffee is a combination of Robusta and Arabica, and it's roasted very dark. When you think about it, how people like their food, like maybe meat. rare, medium rare, well done. Or some people, if they're cooking hot dogs on the grill, they just like them to stay pink, and some people like them charred. So coffee beans are roasted to different amounts. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and run my Napoli here. I'm going to run it into just a little bit of creamer, and I'm pressing the espresso. You know what? I usually run this as an espresso. I'm going to push the lungo button this morning. So espresso is 1.35 ounces. Lungo is 3.7 ounces. Now, sometimes it can make a coffee meant as one of these espressos a little bitter to run more water through it, more hot water, but we'll see, okay? Napoli is so strong anyway that, you know, maybe it'll be just fine because I won't notice if there's any extra bitterness. Okay, by the way, there are different varieties of Arabica, for example. So Arabica is a species, Robusta is a species, and then with each there are varieties, and they can have different subtleties of flavor too. So there's a lot to choose from in the world of coffee. The other two coffees that are sometimes made, the other two species are, I believe, Excelsa and Liberica, but I don't know, I've never seen those for sale, but I'm sure they're available somewhere. Okay. Oh my gosh, you know what? It's taken away some of the richness and more of the bitterness is coming through. If you want to dull down the flavor of a coffee, sweeten it. Now, there are some coffees that a sweetener enhances the flavor, but lots of times it just dulls it down, and I hope it does that in this case. It's acceptable. I'm going to add one more creamer to sort of help the richness. Oh, I should probably put oat milk. I don't feel like warming it up. Okay. Well, there's an experiment. Okay. This is acceptable. Not as good as it would have been had I run it as an espresso. Well, look, I'm going to get going now. I want to return the phone call that I got. So I'll talk to you later, okay?